Hello, and welcome to today's webinar on Payroll 101. My name's Ryan Howard, and I'll be running you through the basics of our payroll product. Today, we're going to just discuss payroll basics, what goes into Beacon Payments Payroll, a quick view of the demo, what you're going to show clients, how to sell payroll, the setup process. We're going to go over common objections and rebuttals, along with the application and what you need to submit a payroll, and finally the profit. Payroll is a great product to couple and make the business run more efficiently with our other products, namely credit card processing. You take the savings from credit card processing and you bundle it with a payroll product, you essentially get payroll often for free or severely discounted. Payroll is one of those things that most business owners run and use and don't think about their methods of doing it, but it can really put a lot of extra time into their day, week, month, and make them ultimately more efficient. It's our goal at Beacon to be a well-rounded business services company for every one of our clients. And giving them an option to run more efficiently with payroll is at the top of that. Beacon Payments Payroll is powered by ADP Run. ADP is the largest payroll company in the world. 1 in 6 Americans is paid by ADP. Now, because of the relationship that we have with ADP, we want to make sure that they know that their money is secure and safe, but we also don't want to let them know too deeply about that relationship. We do that for 2 reasons. 1, we want to eliminate the uncontrollables. There are certain experiences people may or may not have had with ADP that we can't control. So if they have a bad taste in their mouth about ADP, we don't want to go in saying, hey, we're ADP, hey, we're ADP. The second one is our relationship with ADP because of our pricing. Technically, we get better pricing to sell ADP payroll than the ADP agents themselves. As you can imagine, this is not something they're overly excited about in their sales team. So we don't want to go out and explain to people that we're able to give them ADP cheaper than what they have. In fact, we try not to sell too many clients that are using ADP away from ADP, but we can on occasion. We use ADP, frankly, because their software and technology is the best in the business. Beacon Payments Payroll processes weekly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, and monthly payment options. Some of the things that come in our basic package are direct deposit. We can do ADP or client checks, ADP being a check to an open bank, a client check being will mirror the image of the client's check. Tax filing and reporting at no additional cost. The best way for you to view the ADP product or the Beacon Payments Payroll product is to Google ADP Run Demo. The first option will say Corner Store, and that's what you want to run your clients through. That's what you want to become familiar with. We're going to go over the demo here in a second, but ultimately what I want you to get comfortable with is the ability to navigate that website and show the features to the customer. Our costs for running the payroll software are $600 per year per customer, $1.50 per employee paid per pay period, a $5.50 delivery fee, a $5 W-2 fee, and a $250 startup fee. Now, the $5.50 delivery fee is something we can manipulate if we were to do something like direct deposit with electronic reporting, meaning the employees get direct deposit and their pay stubs come via email. In my opinion, it's one of the more efficient ways to run payroll because you don't have to force your employees to come in every week or every 2 weeks to pick up their paycheck. You don't physically have to sign them, and you eliminate that need for all the excess paper and reporting and all those things, as well as not having to track people down at the end of the year for their W-2. Just a quick screenshot of what the ADP demo looks like. This is ultimately what you're selling. As you can see, it's very intuitive. If you want to run payroll, there you go, run payroll. You want to look at HR, which is a neat add-on feature that we have. We'll help customers become compliant, keep them safe from lawsuits, and even help them build handbooks. They'll have access to all their reports, their tax filings, their document reports, a time management tool, and really anything they can think of as far as running their business from their employee standpoint, they've thought of and put into this system. So again, I advise you very heavily to go onto this ADP Run demo and start navigating the website. Figure out what it does so that when your customer asks you or you're running them through it, you can show them how quickly and efficiently they can manage and take control of the payroll aspect of their business. When you're selling payroll, it's a little different than credit card processing in that there's a third option, really a second and a third option for how people can run payroll. With credit card processing, they have to use a company like Beacon or another ISO to get their processing needs. With payroll, they can either use a third party like Paychex, Beacon Payments Payroll, ADP. They can do it manually by themselves where they're actually cutting paper checks for every employee, signing them, figuring out the taxes themselves, and doing that on a weekly basis or biweekly whenever they pay their employees. Or they can use their CPA, their Certified Public Accountant. People who use their CPA are usually very comfortable with it, and frankly, the CPAs themselves generally use the ADP Run platform themselves. So when a CPA comes up, typically what I'll do is I'll contact that CPA, find out if that's something that they enjoy doing or something they despise doing, because it might turn into a great network for me to get new payroll and processing clients from that accountant. Like any good sale, any good product, we have to identify the problems that come with each method of running payroll. With doing it yourself, obviously the time aspect, manually running a check, manually writing out a check, figuring out the tax calculation per employee, signing the check, waiting for your employee to deposit the check and holding that money in reserve, then having to file your taxes at the end of every quarter just to save a buck. In addition to that, it comes with a higher risk. There's a liability when you run payroll. If you make a mistake on the payroll for any of your employees throughout the time period or the year, the IRS will fine you. So you hold sole liability when you run your own payroll. A CPA might reduce the risk, it might not. They might still hold that liability. The CPA might hold it. It just depends on the relationship. But then there's an obvious price. You pay your CPA to do everything. My accountant, on average, is about $100 per incident or per time I need them. I imagine theirs is as well. So that's $100 per payroll. They may not see that bill because it comes at the end of the year or when they file their taxes, but ultimately a CPA isn't necessarily a cheaper option. For the third party, it's the easiest for us because typically it's just a price war. There's some other products that we can involve, like the HR product. We also have a workers' comp and a 401k product to help sweeten the deal. But ultimately, it's what is Paychex charging you and how are you running the payroll? There is no doubt that Beacon Payments Payroll, powered by ADP, is superior in all aspects: price, technology, and customer service. The benefits of using the Beacon Payments Payroll portal is you get the online submission and reporting. You, again, don't need to keep those paper copies around. You remove that liability, and it's ultimately fairly inexpensive. We usually see payroll programs between $200 and $300 a month. Most of your clients' cable bills are higher than that. And the cable adds no value to the business, whereas payroll, again, automates everything and gives the customer just that much more free time. Setup is pretty simple. The rep is paid once the account processes their first payroll. This is a little different than credit card processing in that we don't have any equipment to put out there. So it has a lot of advantages in that you don't have to sell them equipment or have that awkward conversation about buying, a $1,200 Clover device. You can simply gather the information, send it to our office. We will process it. we will send them a welcome email and reach out when it is time to run their first payroll. The setup process includes a checklist. There's a 4-page application, a voided check, the employee's information, meaning each employee you're paying, their social security number, their home address, their filing, their marital status, all available on our website. Unemployment info, meaning how much is your turnover. Each state usually puts an unemployment rate and an unemployment number that we'll need to gather. Payroll to date information, what have we paid all of those employees so far this year? And finally, our tax info, state and federal. We need to register them in order to pay them, pay those parties, the state taxes and the federal taxes. So we'll gather a lot of this information while we're there. So the sales process is just as fast, but the setup doesn't happen later, it happens on our close. So my pitch for payroll is fairly similar to credit card processing in that I have a short story that says, I'm out to talk to you about whoever handles your payroll. Let me ask you, how are you running that now? And just like credit card processing, it's going to elicit a list of objections. After those initial brush-off objections, you're going to hear, I'm all set with my payroll. My accountant does it, I use paychecks, or I do it myself. Each one of those has their own response, but they all revolve around that understanding of what their current situation is and their resistance to change. I completely understand that you think you're all set. That's exactly why I'm here. We found a lot of people in the area are still using outdated payroll methods. There's a lot of people that are going to be in your territory that are still running payroll via fax. In this year, with the technology we have available, they should no longer be running payroll through fax, email, or calling it in. Everything should be done on your own. I liken this to online banking. No one that I know calls to check their bank balance every day. Very few people I know even keep a check register anymore. However, almost every single person I know is enrolled and actively using online banking. So no matter what their current situation is or what their current objection or really excuse is to not want to change that, the reality is they're already doing it. They do it where they see value, where they see convenience. Online banking is enrolled for them. We need to treat this product as if something we need to automatically enroll them in. The 4-page application is located at beaconpayments.com in the agent section. You have your agent login, which if you don't have, you can reach out to us and find out. We need each page filled out accordingly. There's 3 pages that we fill out and a 4th informational page. We'll need their tax ID, the legal name and address of the business, signatures at the bottom of each page, and a voided business check. The checklist items that we'll need to complete the setup, you can reach out to your manager or to our office, to our payroll specialist, and they will help you complete that. If it's an awkward situation or you can't go on site, if you send us the application and the voided check, everything's signed, ready to go, as long as you tell that customer to expect a call from our payroll specialist, we will actually assist them in finishing the paperwork and setting up the account. It's important for us to get those accounts set up as soon as possible because that's how we get paid. We get paid when the customer runs their first payroll. How do we calculate the profit? Well, if we go back to the costs, $600 a year, $1.50 per employee per pay period, $5.50 for delivery. So let's run the average out. Let's say that a client runs a weekly payroll and we want to charge them $40 per week and $1.50 per employee. And let's just use 2 employees for this example. Well, 52 weeks in a year times our base charge of $40 a week equals $2,080. Subtract the $600 recurring cost. Subtract the employees, which is 2 employees times $1.50 or $3 a week, times that same 52. You come up with $156. So subtract those two numbers from your base charge of $20.80, and you come up with a total rep profit commission on this one account of $1,328. Biweekly payroll at $80 a week, $1.50 employee. We're obviously running less payroll, so we pay these employees less, so we have a smaller cost there. The rep bonus there is $1,402. Like I said before, the bonus of 50% is paid out when the client runs their first payroll. We pay out 25% after 3 months with us, and a final 25% payment to the agent after the second quarter or second 3 months with us. So in 180 days, the agent has made the entirety of their commission. As a whole, the payroll product is worth more than credit card processing. Agents make more in 6 months of signing one payroll deal than they will in 2 years of a credit card processing deal. That includes upfronts and residuals. So when you think about it, this is not only a good secondary product, it's a terrific first product. It's a great rehash and it's a great opener. Anyone who sells payroll will tell you that when you go out and sell payroll, you're received a little differently than credit card processing. There's not as much of a stigma against the industry. And every single account that I or any of my agents have sold payroll first for have always been able to sell credit card processing to the same account. Once you get their trust on payroll, the processing is a no-brainer, especially if you offer them a small bundle discount. If you have any questions regarding this or any of our products, please reach out to your manager or to our main office below. Thank you for listening to the webinar. Have a nice day.